All right, everyone. Very good morning, very good evening. Thanks for joining these demo sessions. Uh, let's quickly keep it simple today and tomorrow. We'll try to cover course curriculum and course structure, fees, and course timing, and the course duration, and then how this course is structured. We'll just try to cover as much as possible as a quick demo, and also we will make it as an interactive. We'll take a lot of questions if anyone has any questions, queries, or anything need to be clarified. We will make it as interactive, and please unmute yourself and ask any of the questions you have it. And then once these two demonstrations are done today and tomorrow, we'll continue with the regular classes post your registration. All right. So with that, let's take it for first questions and answers. If anyone has any questions or queries before I get started with this demonstrations. Any of this, like it may be any basic questions or anything related to this course, not something like you have some challenges in the interview and you're unable to answer those questions. So those will take it as a regular classes. As part of our course curriculum, we will try to answer all of them. But if anyone has any questions regarding this course, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions, or you can post the questions here in the chat. I'll try to answer all of those questions. Anyone so far before I get started? All right, no questions. All right, so we'll start with the introduction about myself and the course curriculum and the fee structures and a Google Drive link and WhatsApp group and the a payment mode and what are the prerequisites before attending this course, or who all can attend this course. We'll go with the prerequisites and then some of the fundamental concepts about this database course and rack course and some basics, and then we'll talk about some certifications. Right, so we'll try to cover this in today and tomorrow, all these 9 topics or 9 whatever the points highlighted here. We'll try to cover them in next 2 days, today and tomorrow. So let's say I got a question here from Sharon. As of nowadays, it's been moving to cloud. Right. So, straightforward answer to your question, Saran. Uh, we are not covering anything related to cloud here. So that is one of the a fundamental need for the anyone want to up to the date in the market. So learning cloud is must thing, I can say. So you can go with AWS or Azure or GCP or OCI. So these are the four major, you know, cloud provider in the market and leader in the market. So it's everyone, not only DBA field, even developers, even support engineers. It may be any field. It may be database field, or it may be a application side, or it may be infrastructure side, or whatever the field or whatever the domain, irrespective of them. Everyone to learn cloud is gonna be very much thing to be up to date in the market and to be on the top of the market and keep yourself updated so that you will get a lot of opportunities. That's the only benefit. So you have a cloud certificate, you already have a cloud knowledge, so you will be up to date in the market. Your resume will be very, very strong, right? So it doesn't mean that learning cloud, or if you don't learn cloud, It's going to impact your DBA roles. It's going to impact the DBA jobs. No, DBA role is evergreen. It's a forever. Any enterprise organization or anybody, whether they are in on-premises, whether they are in cloud, DBA roles are must. DBA support is mandatory. Without DBA, they cannot sustain or they cannot run their business. But is this cloud is going to impact a DBA roles or DBA jobs or DBA positions? No, answer is no. It's going to give you more opportunity in the market if you are a cloud certified or cloud admin on top of the DBA job or DBA role or DBA skill sets. You will get more benefits or more opportunities in the market. Nobody can replace the DBA jobs. However, with the cloud environment, there are few things or certain things are automated. Let's say as a DBA role in on-premises, we're going to spend a weeks together of time to install database, to set up a rack. But in case of cloud, with just one single click, your database is ready. So those certain things are automated, but DBA roles cannot be replaced, or with the help of this cloud, there won't be any impact on the DBA roles or DBA jobs. So certain things are automated with help of cloud. That is one of the advantages you can get it.
Malik, can I ask you a question here?
Yes, please.
My name is Arun, and I am 44, and still I am working as a storage admin in some company, right? So I have decided to become the Oracle DBA. Is that okay? Actually, I am 44 and I don't have too much time, like 10 years.
All right, I got it. Yeah, okay. So the if you anybody want to enter into DBA field, it's very easy. Meaning this DBA job or the DBA role where we don't need any programming skills, where you don't need of any logical thinking and other stuffs. It's just a simple SQL language, kind of a English language. You want to do any select star from employee table, like just kind of a
Yeah.
regular English talk. We
But
can query.
somebody may ask, why have you spent you have spent
I'll come to that question. To answer to your questions, you are a 44 or I'm a non-IT background. I want to enter into DBA role. I am working as a admin, I'm working as a network admin, I'm working as a Linux admin, I'm working as a some developer. I want to switch my career. I am into from mechanical background and I want to come to IT, and DBA course is the best step. So when to come if you are in the early of your college days, like once you college passed out and you spent 2 years, 3 years into some other domain, and then you want to come to your DBA role, it's easy. You can easily switch and you can enhance your knowledge, skill sets, and you can enter into DBA role. And if you spent more than 40, 45 years and now you're entering into DBA role, and it will be very, very, you can enter, nobody is stopping you, you can learn and you can enhance your skill set into DBA role. But with this 40 years, 45 years, getting a job, getting into this IT is going to be very, very tough. So either you need to have a strong recommendations, any of your relatives, your brother or your you know relatives are working in some IT company with a good positions, and they can ready to offer you a position, then you can try for that one. Otherwise, if you don't have any background, you don't have any links or contacts, and I'm now 44 and I want to enter into DBA field, so you can enter it, but getting a job is very, very difficult, right? So that is one of the hurdle you can think through whether it is suitable or not with that concern. All right. Right. So what about AI today? So there's one more questions. AI, a very brilliant question on that. So AI is must. So not only AI, we have a lot of concern or a lot of you know not only AI. Like there will be a lot of other technologies around the AI. So there will be a genetic AI. There will be a AI agent, and there will be agentic AI, and a lot of things. So many of those misconception around this AI role. Same thing, there will be a lot of booming or a lot of news around AI, generative AI, agentic AI, AI agent. So is there any impact on the DBA role? So no, I can say with this AI world, there won't be any impact on the jobs or the roles or the positions. So what AI will help you if you learn AI or agentic AI or AI agent or generative AI. These all AI concepts are made up of LLM or LIM, large language or large image models. With help of those models, you can enhance your day-to-day activity. So rather than spending 10 hours of your time, you can make use of that AI concept and you can spend few minutes and then get your whatever the required output. So the misconception around this AI is with the help of AI, our jobs are going to be in risk. No, with the help of AI, our job, our day-to-day activities are going to be enhanced. They're going to be instead of spending 10 hours of time, you're going to spend only few minutes of time. And whatever remaining 9 hours of your time, you can use it for some productive activity, some new enhancement. So you have to make sure that with the help of AI, you're going to productively utilize your time rather than which is gonna thinking like it's gonna impact your jobs and roles and positions. No, any companies nowadays, cloud and AI, they are like adopting very fast, rapidly. So as a DBA, learning this AI and learning this cloud will gonna be added advantages. You can easily get a job, and with help of these technologies, you're gonna enhance your day-to-day activities, and your resume will be very very strong, and you'll be up to date in the market, and job opportunities will be very very high in terms of your AI and cloud and with the database admin. And anybody look at your resume with all these key skill sets, and you'll be shortlisted in one single look. Right. So yeah, you have to think in that direction. AI and cloud are added advantages or benefits for the DBAs. Not only DBAs, for any other domain as well. So everywhere these technologies are booming. Right. So again, few more questions. Are we covering RAC? No, RAC is a separate course. Will not be covering anything related to RAC here. And Nitish is asking, in my current designation is software engineer, product support engineer. I face difficulties in finding a jobs uh, as a DBA. Right. So again, the roles or positions or designation doesn't matter. As long as you are already having IT experience, Nitish, let's say I already have 4 years of experience in software domain. I already have 4 experience in product engineer domain. I already have 5 years of experience in, you know, Linux background or Unix background or infrastructure admin. It doesn't matter whatever the domain, whatever the position is. Once you complete this particular course, you can work it as a 1 to 4 years of experience DBA. So we offer a DBA course, especially I take DBA course and the RAC course. So once you complete this particular DBA course, so anyone like with 1 to 4 years of experience, you can easily work in any organization. So I'm going to go through that course curriculum. We'll understand more on that. So this course curriculum here, the second point what I wanted to talk, this course curriculum is purely based upon I prepared that particular course curriculum based upon as a DBA, if I'm working for a client, what are the day-to-day activities I can get it? What are the day-to-day activities I'm supposed to perform for any client? So with that condition, with that real-time industry exposure, what I have it, based upon that, I prepared this particular course curriculum. Once you complete this DBA course, you can easily work as a 1 to 4 years of experience, a DBA, and you can crack or you can handle any sort of questions, queries, or activities, whatever you comes in the client environment. And we have other course rack, and for this rack course, once you complete this rack course, it's an advanced course, And after DBA course, you have to complete this rack course. That's the must and mandatory. Any DBA with a 5 years to 10 or 12 years, they can work with that much of exposure. I am having 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years experience, then this rack course is must. I'm having 1 to 4 years of experience, then this DBA course is must. So DAC and DBA are evergreen. Anyone wants into DBA field or DBA technologies, he has to complete this DBA and rack course. And on top of this, there are so many other courses, your Golden Gate, your Data Guard, your OEM, and your performance tuning. So many other technologies, Exadata, Exalogic, Supercluster, all these Oracle products. So you can expose yourself into that specialization field. But as a DBA, you have to learn these two minimum courses, DBA and RAC. All right, so again, a lot of things to talk about that. We'll talk as and when we continue with the further courses. But let's
Malik,
quickly
hi
stick
Malik,
to
good
this
morning.
content what I wanted to cover it for today and tomorrow.
Hello.
So far so good. I hope no questions. There are a few more questions. Let's take it. I'll take it in a few minutes. There's a
Hi Malik.
VMware admin or there's a course timings and a course duration. I'm gonna cover it in a minute. I mean, and everyone like I'll take those questions in a minute. All right. So
Hello.
quickly, a talk few minutes about your instructor. That is about me. Because there'll be lot of pings I came. I received in last 2 to 3 days. Uh, with questions like who is covering and what all the topics are covering. So it's important to understand about me. I'm your instructor. Hope you all might be aware and you've gone through my profile in LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, blog, or Twitter. If not, then please take a look on this particular uh, links here. Uh, so it's all talks about my journey and uh, my overall experience and my total contribution to the Oracle community. So again, there won't be any third party person coming and teaching this course. It's a purely I'm the one who will be taking this course end to end. Again, just to brief you a few words about me, I'm having around 15 years of IT experience, and that too entire 15 years will be in Oracle domain. I learned almost all of the Oracle products, Oracle database, DBA, RAC, OEM, Golden Gate, Exadata, Supercluster, Solarize, Oracle EBS, Oracle OBI, Oracle PeopleSoft. So almost all, uh, not almost all, like I can say most of the Oracle product I exposed and I worked on those products. And also I worked on majority of data center building, data center migration, and upgradation, database migration, patching, cloning, performance tuning, RMAN backup, restore recovery, patching, so many things like almost all the activities, almost all the like fields. It may be insurance sector, or it may be finance sector, or it may be e-commerce. Almost all the domains I worked on that. Right. So with this 15 years of experience, with all the various Oracle products and with all the various domains or industries, I also not limited myself. I enhanced my skill sets on the other domains like DevOps. I learned a lot of DevOps skill sets like shell scripting, Python scripting, Terraform, and Kubernetes, Chef cookbooks. So why I learned all these DevOps skills? To just to make my day-to-day activities automation. If you learned your Python, shell scripting, Chef cookbooks, Kubernetes, these all will going to help you to make your day-to-day activities, whatever you need to spend few hours of time, you can make them automation by learning these DevOps skills. I learned those DevOps skills, and also I not limited myself into this database Oracle world. I learned some other database skills like MS SQL I learned, and I worked for MS SQL 3 years. And also I learned IBM DB2, SAP HANA. I learned PostgreSQL, MySQL, right? So all these are my secondary skill sets, secondary database skill sets. Once you learned Oracle database is so complex and very very hard to understand. Unlike other database skill sets, which are very easy and you can easily adopt them. So once you are a Oracle DBA and you know in and out about Oracle DBA, you can easily learn other database skills. There's no difficulties or there's no challenges in learning the other database skill sets once you are Oracle DBA and you know in and out about Oracle database. Right. So that is about me. I have not limited myself into one single database like Oracle. I learned other database skills. I not limited myself into this Oracle world. I learned other database skill sets and also I learned other domains, DevOps and also cloud. I worked on OCI and AWS. So again, Azure and GCP, I can easily, whenever, if I get a chance, I can easily convert my OCI and AWS skill sets into Azure and GCP. So it's all based upon how much opportunities you can get it. You have to utilize them, right? Learning any one cloud technologies is the added advantages. Learning these all AI skill sets is the added advantages, and learning other database skill sets is again added advantages. So how can you utilize all of these added advantages, other skill sets? Once you are strong, once you know in and out about database skill sets, once you are strong enough or confident enough in database skill sets, so you can easily enhance your other skills or domains, and that's not going to be that hard and fast rule. You can easily learn those secondary skill sets once you become Oracle DBA. Again, that's all comes into picture based upon your interest, your willingness to learn, and then how much time you're going to invest in learning those skill sets. And if you're not interested and not, investing time, then you'll never learn those secondary skill sets. Right. So that's a quick intro about me and my overall experience in this IT industry. Now I can quickly go through this course curriculum. So hope you might be already gone through this course curriculum, but if not, no worries. You can just take a look here. I can open it here. So bring my browser. Right, there'll be a lot of content. So again, as I mentioned just few minutes back, this particular course curriculum is based upon my experience. Whatever I worked in these 15 years in this IT industry, based upon that concept, I formed this particular course curriculum. And as a DBA, what all the activities you're subjected to perform in the client environment. So all will be covered here. So I'll just not gonna go through. It's already uploaded in my YouTube channel with a brief explanation about the course curriculum. I'll just go over few points on this. So we'll start with the environmental setup where you can understand lot of Linux, lot of networking, lot of basic concept here in the chapter number 1 and 2. So Linux and networking basic concept and fundamentals where you can do end-to-end setup here. And in chapter number 3, 4, 5 will be your installation part, your ASM installation, your database installation, Oracle home installation, database creation with a silent mode, with a GUI mode, and what are the manual options, what are the automated options. We'll explore more on this chapter number 3, 4, 5 on the installation part. What is run installer? What is root.sh will do? What is root ora inst.sh will do? And what is Vora inventory, what is Oracle home, what is Oracle base. There will be a lot of fundamental questions or concept around this. We'll explore more on this. What is GUI mode installation, what is silent mode installation, what is manual mode installation, right? So what is ASM home, what is grid home, and all those will be covered here, basic foundations and the installation part here in this chapter number 1 to 5. Chapter number 6 onwards, we'll start with architecture. We'll basically cover this particular course based upon the 19C architecture, but we can take a look on the differences between your 11G, 12C, and 19C. What are the changes that happened in terms of architecture changes? So we'll cover all of them and completely we stick to a 19C architecture here. We'll cover end to end. What is instance? What is background process? Mandatory, non-mandatory background process? What is memory structure? Your SGA and PGA and user global area. right? And then inside SGA and inside PGA, there are so many sub-memory component, and all this entire architecture is going to be one of the common interview questions in most of the job opportunities. You can go for any job interview. The architecture part related questions are very must and common. Can you brief me about database architecture? What is database instance? What are mandatory background process and non-mandatory background process? What is SMON? What is PMON? What is DB writer? What is log writer? What is checkpointer? What is archiver? What is recover process? All these are background processes. And what are those? What are the job? What are the tasks those background processes will perform? What is SGA? What is PGA? And inside SGA, there are so many sub-memory component, shared pool, large pool, Java pool, database buffer cache, log buffer cache, and stream pool. Inside shared pool, you have data dictionary cache and library cache. All these questions have come across. What is shared pool, large pool, Java pool, database buffer cache, DB buffer cache? What is library cache? What is data dictionary cache? And again, inside database buffer cache, you have a dirty buffer, pinned buffer, pre-buffer. So all these are mandatory and must questions in any DBA interview. And once you work as a Oracle DBA in any time, even in the midnight when you're sleeping, if somebody wake you up and ask you a question, can you brief about database architecture, you should be able to answer that question without any hesitation or without any single thought. All these terminologies, all these keywords should be comes easily. So you have to be that much of strong. Your foundation should be very, very strong. Once you understand the foundation, you can easily learn any other enhancement like rack and your golden gate, your OEM and your exercise. So any other skill set you can easily learn, but all of them will be based upon this foundation. You have to be very, very strong in the foundation. Right, we'll cover all of them in end to end here, and we'll start with the administration here on the database side, understanding shutdown, startup, all the password file, SP file, P file, control file, redo log files, archive log file, temp file, undo, and all of them will understand here and how to manage them, control them, resize them, and create a table space and your memory management, a lot of things. So just mention only few of them here, but it's not limited to that. Will be a lot of things to cover on that. But again, table spaces, segment, extent, data blocks, how they're managed, like dictionary managed, locally managed, and how you can create a table space and add a data file and resize the data files and drop a table space, drop a data files. All of them will be covered here. All these are like your admin activities. Then we'll start with the ASM architecture here in chapter number 9 and 10. It's all chapter 9 is purely on ASM. What is ASM? What is grid? What is infrastructure, grid infrastructure, and what is ASM? And what is ASM disk groups? How can I manage my ASM disk groups? ASM disk group itself has a lot of concept around that. Creation of your ASM disk group and adding a ASM disks, dropping ASM disks, and dropping your ASM disk groups. And with adding, you're creating ASM disk groups, what all the options you can get it? Redundancies, your external, normal, high redundancies, and then how can you manage your ASM instance and database instance? How can you manage data files inside that? A lot of things around this ASM architecture here. And chapter number 9, 10 is about multi-tenant architecture. Oracle has came up with a new concept, multi-tenant architecture in 12c, which is going to be very, very must for any DBAs. Because let's say in prior version, let's say up to 11G meaning your 7i, 8i, 9i, 10G, 11G. Up to 11G, it's a normal database architecture. In 12C, Oracle came up with a new architecture, normal database architecture or multi-tenant architecture. You can go with the two options here. So in 12C and 18C and in 19C, Oracle has given these two options. Either when you're creating your database, you create database as a normal database architecture, or you can create database as a multi-tenant architecture. Two architecture options it has given here in these three version. And starting with the 21C onwards, it's always multi-tenant architecture. There is no concept of normal database architecture. That's gone. Oracle is pushing everyone to migrate it to this multi-tenant architecture, PDBs and CDBs. So as a DBA, you want to sustain or you want to, be on top of the market. There's no need of normal database architecture. Meaning, if you're knowing only this normal database architecture, that's not enough. Learning this multi-tenant architecture is very must and mandatory for any DBA. That's a future focus from Oracle side. So we'll be covering that CDBs and PDBs and cloning your PDBs, cloning your CDBs, and backup and restore recoveries across the PDBs, listeners, password file, your SP file, arcalog file, data files, and your table spaces, user management, local user, and your common user. All those will be comes around the CDBs and PDBs. We'll talk about end to end in the chapter number 10. And listeners, so as a DBA, when you start working on any client, every day you'll get one or two requests around database connectivity issue, user issue, password issue, your TNS issue, your listener issue, and your SQLnet data issue, and your connectivity issue. So this is must here. So here we'll talk about a lot of things under connectivity, user, and your listener, TNS, and your like local connection, remote connection, password file authentication, your OS authentication, and lot many things here. So this is one of the common activity as a DBA you'll be getting in any of the client environment. We'll cover end to end on this chapter number 11. Chapter number 12 is about user management, like what are the user privileges, roles, and profiles, and what are the resource limitations, and how can I check what all the privileges or permission that user has it. Can you please replicate the user 2 same as user 1? Can you grant all the permissions of user 1 to user 3? So what are the roles he has it? What are the privileges he has it? System privileges, object level privileges, all will be covered here on this user management. I'm unable to access this object. Why? What privileges I need it? So all will be explored here in this user management. So chapter number 13, 14, 15 is all about backup, restore, recovery. Your control file backup, your SP file backup, P file backup, your data file backup, and how can I restore all the control file, SP file, and all my level 0 backup, level 1 backup, and how can I clone my database, production database as a development database, production database as a test database. I have a lot of options in cloning, rman database duplicate, rman active database duplicate, rman backup based duplicate, rman restore and recover. So how can I restore my control file? How can I restore my system data files, sysag data files, undo data files, temp data files? And is rman is going to back up my temp data files, undo data files? How can I improve my backup performance, restore performance? What are the level 0 backup and full backup? And how can I read my backups? And how can I schedule my backups? So there'll be a lot of things here around the backups and restores. We'll talk backup and restore here on this chapter number 13, 14, 15. Chapter number 16 is about all patching, a bundle patching, PSU patching, one-off patching, merge patching, intermediate patching, hot patching, online patching, OPatch, OPatch auto, and N apply, OPatch N apply, OPatch apply, rollback, patch storage, your central inventory, your local inventory, and how can I check my patch level, and how can I patch my database, how can I patch my Oracle binary, ASM binary. So there will be a lot of concept here. Again, when it comes to rolling, will be when it comes to rack, it will be rolling and non-rolling patching and hybrid patching. And then a lot of questions around this patching. How can I minimize the downtime? Can I do patching online without downtime? Can I make it patching offline with a downtime? So how can I improve my patching time? How can I reduce my patching downtime? So we'll talk more on this patching exercise here. So Oracle releases 4 times. All right, one second. Oracle releases 4 times in 1 year. Jan, April, July, and October. Oracle releases 4 times your critical patch update, CPUs. You have to apply these patches on your Oracle databases. to make your database secure and vulnerability free and adopt the new features and any bug fixes, all will be handled in these patches. It's a must and mandatory thing to apply patches on your Oracle database and your Oracle binaries. So if you hit any issue on this Oracle database and you engage Oracle support, very first question Oracle support will ask you, did you patch your database? The moment you say no, then Oracle will push back, first patch this and then come back to us. So patching is going to be one of the common activities. So we'll be covering in the chapter number 16. Database upgradation, again, how can I upgrade my database? 11G database to 19C, 12C database to 19C, 10G database to 19C. What are the pre-checks? What are the post-checks? What are the various options to upgrade my database? Manual method, silent method, GUI method, your 19C auto upgrade, Perl script, shell script. So there are various options to do a database upgrade and how to minimize the downtime for the database upgrade. What are the pre-checks? What are the post-checks? What are the consideration I need to make sure that database upgrade will go fine? In case of patching fails, in case of upgrade fails, how can I roll back? How can I bring my database back online? Right, and then chapter number 18 is about data guard, your standby. So one of the business continuity plan. Give me 1 minute, guys, here. All right, sorry for that. Okay. So what I'm talking is data guard. So meaning one of your business continuity plan. My production database crashed due to some disaster, maybe earthquake, flood, or maybe any natural disaster happened on my data center. My entire production is down. How can I continue with my business? For that, you have to have this data guard, standby database, and you can make that as a primary and continue to run your business. So, understanding of the data guard from the scratch and understanding of different type of standby databases and different modes of standby databases. You have a physical standby, you have a snapshot standby, you have logical standby, and also you have something called ADG, active data guard, and different modes of your standby database, maximum availability, maximum performance, and maximum protection. Which is best option for my business? And what are my standby redo logs? What are my primary redo logs? How my primary and standby are in sync? How can I build my standby database from the scratch? My FRA is full, my database is hung. How can I handle it? My RK logs are got deleted. My DR is or standby database is out of sync. How can I make it sync? How to convert my physical standby to snapshot standby? From the snapshot standby to again convert back to physical standby. And then all will be covered here. Your DR drill activity, switchover activity, convert the role of your database, convert your primary database to standby, standby database to primary. So all those will be covered here in this data guard. Again, there will be much more activities we'll be covering, but I'm just giving you few examples here what we'll be covering. So shell scripting, again, we'll cover some of the basics on the shell scripting. How can you automate? Every day when I log into my DBA shift, I have to do certain checks. I have to check my database status, listener status, my table space usage, my file system storage, and all the health check. If I do that, I'll be spending 2 hours of every day. Why should I do every day 2 hours doing the same check again and again? I can simply learn some automation shell scripts and I can complete within 1 or 2 minutes rather than spending 2 hours to do that health check. Within 1 or 2 minutes, I'll just run that one single script. I can do all the health check. So that's the importance of learning these automation shell scripts or the Python scripts. So where you can do your day-to-day activities, the repeated activities, you can make it automate.
Malik, hi Malik.
Yep.
Small doubt regarding this automation skill script. So we are using like Python also, right? So in this course, you are covering this topic also, automation using with the
No,
Python.
no
Okay.
Python, only shell scripting.
Only shell scripting.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So we'll see that I'll cover the basic foundation for that shell scripting and then I'll show you a few automation like how can I monitor my database status? How can I monitor my listener status? How can I monitor my instance status? How can I monitor my table space usage? How can I monitor my primary and standby is sync or not? So not only a cell scripting, along with the cell scripting, you can do email automation. Like whenever your database goes down, automatically trigger an email to your DBA team so that anyone can log in and quickly start the database. Why it went down, they can start it. So that will be again enhanced and automated in that. We'll cover that in this chapter number 19. Chapter number 20 is about export and import. How can I do export and import of a table, schema, table space, and database? And what are the real-time scenarios? Like how can I improve my export and import? And how can I do remote export? What are the compatibility parameters across that? So we'll see more on this export and import. Chapter number 21 will brief about comparison in 12C and 19C new feature. What are the new feature? Again, each of these version in 12C itself there will be thousands of new features. In 19C itself, again thousands of new features. We'll not be able to cover all of them. But as a DBA, what all the mandatory or must day-to-day activities which are needed will be covered as the new features here. And chapter number 22, 23, 24, 25, it's all about some performance tuning. So again, it's the performance tuning itself is a separate course. But as a DBA, we'll be trying to cover as much as possible as a DBA, like what are the things I need to check when it comes to performance tuning. How can I run AWR report, ADDM report, ASH report, how to read that, interpret that. And then by reading that, how can I understand my execution plan? And how can I understand my, is there any plan change in that? How can I see my queries are taking more time? Who is the culprit here? And based upon that, what are my recommendation? Is my table is fragmented? Is there my table going under row chaining, row migration? And then how to fix that one? How can I perform table move, table shrink? And then how can I do all this row chaining and row migration? How can I reduce my fragmentation inside my table or table space? And then how can I gather stats on a table, gather stats on an index? How can I gather stats on a schema? How can I gather stats at schema level or table level? So how can I rebuild my index? How can I check whether my index is valid or not? How can I rebuild my index with online or offline? And then is there any plan change? Is there multiple plans for the SQL query execution? If there are multiple plan, how to check which is the best execution plan? And then finally go with a SQL profiling to make use of that best execution plan. And how can I tune my query? How can I run my SQL tuning advisor? See, is there any recommendation from the SQL tuning advisor? Right. So we'll try to cover few of the basics here. On top of that, we'll be covering some OS level analysis. How to check my server performance, how my server is performing. Like, is my server is overloaded? Is my server resources, how they're utilized? How the memory is utilized? How my iOS activities are happening on my OS side. All those will be interpreted in this chapter number 22, 23, 24, all about performance tuning and how can we fix those particular performance tuning by doing the index rebuild, gather stats, and table move, table shrink, export import, and SQL profiling. So we'll explore more on this here on the performance tuning. Right. And then chapter number 16 is about resume writing. So I'll go over my own resume and I'll give some advice or the hints. What are the major criteria you need to include in your resume? So on cover letter. So I'll just go through my own profile and then you can replicate according to your experience and your skill sets. And the interview questions and answers. We'll be having a lot of interview questions and answers. We'll be keep on updating our Google Drive. In the Google Drive, we'll be having a centralized document where there'll be a lot of interview questions and answers are updated. You just need to prepare that one so that you can able to crack any of the interview. So again, there'll be mock interview. Again, it's not a mandatory thing. It is everyone like subjected to individual interest. So if you are interested and you can appear for this mock interview, I'll be connecting with you one to one. I'll be driving this interview process so that I can measure how much you prepared overall after this course. Right. So that is your added topic where it's not a mandatory, it is subjected to your interest. All right. So again, there'll be few concept or few uh, portions which are not specified here. It doesn't mean that it will not be covered. So as a DBA, as I told, as a DBA with my 15 years of experience, whatever needed, I kept everything here and try to complete this part of this entire DBA course. Right, I'll take a pause here if anyone has any questions so far on course curriculum or the course understanding here. Great. Any questions so far? So good.
Um, yeah, hi Malik.
Yep.
Yeah, so the issue for me right now, I mean, is the time. So I just wanted to know what time are we looking at for this? I mean, when you finally start this program, what time are we looking at?
Yeah, I'll cover that one. So here the next point I want to talk about
Oh, okay.
the fee structure
Yeah,
and course
yeah, because
duration.
the last time I was not able to join, just I mean based on the time.
Right. Got it. Yeah. Let me cover here so that it will be answered. There'll be few questions around also in this chat here.
Okay, all
How
right.
many days and
Okay.
all. So let's say here. So there'll be a challenge here. Covering both EST time and the IST time. There'll be a lot of challenge over here. So my primary, uh, the timings what I'm looking is based upon India time zone, and I know it'll be very very difficult for the EST time zone. Uh, I'm sorry for that, but still, there'll be everyday sessions will be required. I'm gonna come to that point. So what that meaning? This particular course is I'm just gonna put down here few points. Okay, so this is the weekdays batch. So we'll be covering 3 days in a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And in IST time zone, that's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. In EST time zone, it will be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So it will be like 12 hours behind. The timing in IST will be 8:30 a.m. IST to 10:30 a.m. IST, 2 hours every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And in Eastern time zone, it will be little late night, 11 p.m. EST to 1 a.m. EST. Will be midnight for EST time zone. So I'm not running two batches for EST separately and IST zone separately. Both together, whichever time is suitable. This is the time for me, which is actually suitable. So I don't have any other thought to have a new batch in the night IST hour. That will be EST morning hours. So I'm not running that any batch in the IST hours. But for those guys from EST and IST time zone, if you're able to make it little late night, you can try to attend the live sessions. So in case if you are not able to attend these live sessions, so what you can do, everyday sessions will be recorded, and then on the same day after the completion of the class will be uploaded to Google Drive. I strongly recommend those EST and PST time zone guys can go through that recording and then post that. Any questions or queries, you can ping me, or you can ping on our WhatsApp group so that I can connect with them one to one and then I can clarify those
Hi
questions.
Malik. Hello.
Yep.
Malik, I think IST time is the best for the people who are joining your batch from India, and it 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is the best time, I think so.
Yeah, that's
The
a
morning
that
time.
right. That's correct. So that's a current time. So that's a fixed
But
even.
yeah, it will be
e-
difficult, very difficult to take the class on 11 p.m. Like, everyone is at the late night is not so much frequently,
Right.
attend the batch.
That's true. Right. So again, a best timing, what I feel is 6 to 10 is obviously best timing, but I'm not gonna go with 6 to 8 because I got last feedback. There'll be a lot of school drop. People want to drop their kids into school and then some
Yes,
personal
yes.
work.
8:30 is the best, I think.
So that's a consideration.
Even for today, I have made my office early. I came to my office early 2 hours before, so it's best.
Right.
So,
All right.
Malik, I have a question.
Yep.
So, your course duration is 35 to 45 days, right? These are number of days the instructions are given, or is
Right.
it
Number
like
of days. So actual course, let's say remove it actual days, 3 days in a week. 30 days is the what you can complete. 30 days your actual classes.
so 30 days of instruction, right?
Right.
Okay. So it will span more than 1 month
Right.
actually.
Because
Okay.
we'll be covering only 3 days in a week. So we're gonna go for 45 to around 50 days.
Okay. Thanks.
Right. Again, one more time, like for the EST time zone, it'll be little difficult for them, I know. But you have to, if you're able to make the live session, try it out. If not, then obviously, as I mentioned, everyday sessions will be recorded and uploaded on the same day. You can watch that, and any questions and queries, I'll connect with them so that you can manage somehow on that particular time. Right. 30 days is the total course duration we should be able to complete with the 30 days our actual course days. And the course fees are 10,000 Indian rupees, 125 US dollar. So again, it's a paid training. So any questions, queries around this fees, the payment process, payment mode, you can feel free to ping me on my WhatsApp number or on my cell number. I can guide you through that, the payment process. What are the options you have it for the India transfer or from the US transfer or outside of India or within India. So there'll be a lot of options. I can communicate or guide you. You just feel free to ping me on my cell number or my WhatsApp number. So I'll guide you through that payment process. So it'll be conducted over a Zoom session, live classes, and we'll be covering this 19C version. Right.
So,
So
Malik, I have a question. So, what is the requirement in terms of laptop? Like,
and I'll talk
I
about that.
already talked. I
I'll
already.
talk about this here. Let's
Okay,
talk
okay,
about
okay.
themselves.
Thanks.
Right. So I hope that's a clear. Any questions around this course fees, structure, timings, and duration? Uh, if no questions, I'll go to the next topic. Hope no questions. That's the clear. Right. And very, very important thing, these 2 points here. Point number 4 and 5, a Google Drive access and WhatsApp group. So I'll just talk about WhatsApp group. So each batch will be having the dedicated WhatsApp group. All the registered student will be part of this course. Already this WhatsApp group. I think already we got around 5 students from last 1 week. They all are parts of WhatsApp group already, and they're all started watching the previous batch recording. Once you register for the course, once you make a payment and register for this course, I'll be adding you into this WhatsApp group. All the communications will happen through this WhatsApp group. Any questions, queries, or you need any help or any suggestions, or you stuck in any installation or setup, or some particular concept you are unable to catch up the things, you can always post your questions, queries in the WhatsApp group so that anyone can answer you. If not, I'll be connecting with you, each one of you, and then I'll be clarifying and I'll be unblocking you. So this is the mode of communication we always prefer to go over WhatsApp for the easiest, and not only for that purpose, even any questions anyone asks, it will be benefited to other student. So always make sure that use our WhatsApp group for any communication. Again, this will be dedicated to only those registered students, only for this particular batch. And post your course registration, you'll be getting access on the Google Drive link. So you'll be getting a 4 links. The one is course material, where you can get all the PPTs, all the workbooks, all the lab exercise, all the you know commands, and everything will be here in this course material. And there will be other information where you can get all the softwares, all the automation scripts, all the interview questions and answers, and all of them will be getting it over here. So just quickly, I can open one Google Drive link and I can show you here. So this is a course material here. Where is that? Okay, here. So if I get it, this is our DBA course material where there will be a lot of folders inside that. As and when we continue with the course, you'll understand all these folders, when to go inside this, each of those topics, all will be covered here. And at the same time, the second link, what I talked about, is for the other information like interview questions and answers and the software. All will be available in this particular second link. If I get the second link here, so other DBA tools, the softwares and patches, automation, monitoring scripts, your ISO images, your interview questions and answers will be part of this second Google Drive link. And very, very important is two links here, the previous batch recording and the current batch recording. So let's quickly get the previous batch recording. The previous batch recording meaning our last batch, whatever I completed. So all those recordings you will be getting it. So why you will be getting those recordings? You can prepare well in advance. Let's say here this is a previous batch recordings. So day one demo session and associated notepad. If I go with the, let's say, Oracle architecture, or let's go any database startup and shutdown sequence, you can just open and you can watch the previous batch recording, like whatever, you can watch it on the Google Drive, or you can download that recording. Just right click and download into your locally, and you can watch it in your local laptop. Along with the recordings, we have this everyday, whatever the notepad, whatever I am typing in my lab exercise, all those will be captured here. This is my notepad. What I captured in my lab will be uploaded, so that while you are watching the recordings, you can practice that command, just copy paste it. So all the recordings and associated notepad will be uploaded here, so that you can watch them and you can practice them in the offline period. So why you are getting this previous batch recording? I know there are few people who already have a knowledge on database and they're already working as a DBA. They want to complete this course within 1 week so that they can prepare for interview along with the live classes, whatever they're attending. And why I'm providing these previous batch recordings? If you are new for this DBA course, you can watch the recording. Let's say next week or tomorrow, I'm covering for my, let's say I'm covering for this database startup and shutdown sequence. So you can go and then watch this recording well in advance. These are live recordings of previous batch, so that there will be a lot of questions asked by my previous students, previous batch students, and you can listen to all of them in advance and you can prepare your own questions, so that whenever I'm starting the class, live classes, so you can make it interactive, you can ask and you can clarify all those questions. So that is the two advantages here. For the fast track, you can learn your by own, and for the live classes, before you attend, you can go and then watch in advance so that you can ask more questions during the live classes. So there'll be Google Drive link, you'll be getting it, and there'll be a lot of questions on that. Is this a limited time period access? No, these are lifetime access. You can have it lifetime access, and even there's no restriction that you can download all this material into your locally, your laptop or desktop. You can locally download it, or you can use it from the Google Drive itself. These are lifetime accessible material, right? And then WhatsApp group is for all the communications. But any questions here? And the payment method here, again, I told, just try to reach out to me on my cell number or my phone number. I can guide you through that payment process. Hope that makes sense. Any questions here so far? So good on the course, timing,
Um,
duration, fee structure.
yes, Malik. I have a question. For this course, right? Is it just the Oracle 19C single instance or the rack
It's a standalone,
standalone? Okay.
single instance, no rack here. Again, I
Okay.
just mentioned here, right, few minutes back, rack is a separate course. So we need to opt for that.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So,
Hi Malik, I have one question.
yeah,
Hello.
yeah, go ahead.
What is the prerequisites for this course as we are completely from different domain?
I'll talk about that. Point number 7 here, prerequisites. I'm going to talk in a minute. right? So hope that's clear. Course fee structure, timings, duration. The difference between the IST time zone and EST time zone, just to make a note of that. And again, EST time zone, you have to bear with that timing and watch the recording if it's not possible. If you can't able to make it live session, watch the recording. That's my suggestion. And Google Drive link and WhatsApp group and the payment process. Hope that's all clear. Now I'll just move on to the next point. And very, very important, the prerequisites. So understanding a prerequisites is very, very important because without meeting these prerequisites, people will buy the course and later in the middle they will be given up. They will be like, I can't make it, I cannot understand much, and then I cannot continue. So what are the prerequisites? So very first thing, your hardware. So you should have a Windows laptop or the desktop. We need a minimum of 10 GB RAM and then 100 GB SSD. So sometimes you'll not be having SSD hard disk, that's fine, but RAM should be minimum 10 GB. So there'll be a lot of questions around that. I have only 8 GB RAM, I have 4 GB RAM, I have 6 GB RAM. Can I continue with this course? Yes, you can continue with this course, but the problem with that, you'll not be able to do a lab hands-on experience. In order to set up your lab, you should have minimum 10 GB RAM. If you have more than 10 GB, that's well and good. Like you have 12 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB, that's more than enough. But minimum 10 GB is must. Without that, still you can continue this course, but you will be able to watch what I'm teaching. You'll not be able to do a hands-on your own lab exercise without this prerequisites because we are setting up lab on your own laptop or desktop and we'll be doing labs using this Oracle virtual box on your individual laptop or desktop. Right. And the next one, who can attend? Anybody. So it's not necessarily like I'm having 1 year of experience, I'm having 2 years of experience, I'm having 5 years of experience, I'm having 10 years of experience. Anybody can attend this course. It's meant for everyone because as you go through this course curriculum here, this course will start from the basic understanding foundation and it's going to go up to this advanced level, the CDBs, PDBs, database patching, database upgradation, and your data guard, your performance tuning. It covers everything from the basics till advanced level. This course will be covered. So anybody can attend with 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years of experience, doesn't matter. And for the newcomers, like 1 year, 2 years, and anybody does not have any background about IT or anybody does not have background about database, so they can also start from the scratch here. Since this course is made up of from the basic scratch till the advanced level. For those who are already have a experience, again, for them, they can go in a fast track. They can just watch this previous batch recordings within a week or 2 weeks. They can able to complete this course. And if they have any questions, queries, they can reach out to me or connect with me one to one. I can clarify all of them. But for those who are entering newly from non-IT background to IT background, or those who are having 1 year, 2 years of experience, they can watch this previous batch recording well in advance, and they can continue with the live batches, and they can ask or clarify, and they can, post any questions or queries well in advance. So that's the foundation here, the hardware requirement and who can attend. So there won't be any restriction for the anyone with experience, without experience, or you are switching your domain, anyone can attend because as I mentioned, this course contains from the basics till the advanced level. Right. Then the other added advantages, your basics of Linux or basics of Windows, basics of your SQLs. So if you know this, the Linux command, cd, mkdir, ls, and Windows, how to laptop, like how you can open your softwares, how you can install the software on your Windows laptop, and how to run the basic SQL queries, select star from employee. If you know all these basics, that will be well structured one, like that will be well added advantages. You can easily catch up the things. The moment I start explaining it, you'll be able to catch up and sync all the dots. You can connect all the dots and understand the concepts. So if you don't know these basics, don't worry. So will be whatever needed for this course, whatever the basics SQL needed, whatever the basic Linux command needed, will be covered along with the course. Whenever I'm explaining the concept, whenever I'm typing the command, I'll be explaining those commands along with the course, whatever the basics needed one. So that is not enough. So along with the course, if you don't know Linux, you don't know SQLs, there will be a lot of material in our Google Drive itself. You had to spend some more extra time and understand these SQLs and Linux along with the course. And you have to watch the recordings repeatedly. Whatever the sessions I'll record every day, you have to learn this Linux and SQLs along with the course. And also you have to watch the recordings repeatedly 1 or 2 times so that you can able to catch up and you will be in sync with me. So if I don't know Linux, if I don't know SQL, can I continue this course? Yes, still you can continue the course. And reason being that whatever the Linux, whatever the SQL needed, I'll be covering along with the course. Each topic, whatever I cover, along with that, I'll be covering this Linux and SQL basics. But what you need to do, you need to put some effort and you need to put some extra time to invest your time into this learning SQLs and Linux. There will be a lot of materials in our Google Drive itself, or even in Google, you can get a lot of materials around the Linux and SQL basic commands. That's a must thing. Hope that clear. There will be a lot of questions. Many people asked about these prerequisites. Hope that clear now. Any questions here so far? All right.
Sir,
Yeah.
hello.
Go ahead, Lakshmikant.
I have completed BTech in 2025, sir, graduated.
Right.
Is it good to learn this Oracle DBA, or as I can get any fresher jobs by this Oracle DBA learning?
Right. So again, if you see here with this Oracle DBA course, once you complete, you can work with 1 to 4 years of experience. So once you complete your passed out, college passed out, it's a good time to start your career rather than waiting for job opportunities and not getting any job and spending 4 5 years and not getting a job. Then later you're trying to switch your career. That's going to be risky, like with the 4 years or 5 years of career gap after college days. So many companies will say if the career gap or the professional gap, so they will not be able to entertain, they will not be able to offer you. So after college passed out, so it's a very good timing for you to start this course. And once you complete this course, and you can get a job with 1 to 4 years of experience. Since again, why 1 to 4 years? As I mentioned, this course curriculum is based upon my 15 years of experience. I started this course. I built this particular course curriculum from the scratch till the advanced level. As a DBA, what are the activities are coming for any client? If you're working as a DBA for any client, what are the activities you're expected to perform? All will be covered with the 1 to 4 years of experience. Right, so that is your understanding. With the college passed out, it's the best time for you to start this course.
Okay,
Again, if
sir.
you have
Sir,
any other thought, want to go to some other domain, it is left to your interest, whether you want to go into coding development or you want to go into the cloud and other things, or you want to come to this DBA field, or that you have to decide based upon your interest.
okay, sir. I am interested in DBA role only, but is there any jobs for freshers in the Oracle DBA roles?
I mean, there are a lot of jobs,
Okay, sir.
the freshers and experienced, and there are a lot of job. Market is good now. Market is like
Okay, sir.
good, lot of openings. And again, one thing, since you asked these questions, there'll be a lot of change happened after the COVID. Before the COVID, the salary pay scale is negligibly very low. After this post COVID, almost all the organization, the salary pay scale is gone up to all time high. Like because of the market is also going high and job opportunity also going high, and at the same time all the organizations are pay scale, they are increased. Again, forget about those, the the support organization like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, those are the big giants. They are from the decades, and their pay scale is always static. You don't expect that, too much of pace hike in those IT companies. But other than them, like, take about any other companies with the product based and other things, the salary structure for DBAs are too high nowadays. And even all the most of the organization, they're offering the stocks along with the joining bonus. So that's a good thing. That's a good indication of the market, and the market is good for freshers and the experienced people. But only thing is you have to be strong in the field.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. So a lot of information around that. Hope that's clear. Any more questions, queries before I get into some technical discussion on the few of the basic concept around this database course? Right. So just to brief one more time, I covered about your instructor, that about me, and I just gone through that complete understanding of the course curriculum. Hope no confusion in that course curriculum. There are some pings. I used to get it. Can you cover OEM in this course? Can you cover the Golden Gate in this course? Can you cover some performance tuning like advanced performance tuning, Oracle licensing, and can you cover some a TD, transparent data encryption, wallet, OKV? No, those are like advanced course. That OKV itself is separate course. TD itself is separate course. Your OEM itself is a separate course. Your Golden Gate itself is a separate course. Those are like advanced specialization course. So those will not be covered. So if you have any doubts or questions, queries around the topics, feel free to ping me or feel free to connect with me on my WhatsApp number and cell number. We can discuss more on that. Again, so this standard course curriculum what I formed based upon my 15 years of experience, that's more than enough. As a DBA, you can work and support any organization or any customer. Right, and then covered about course duration, timing, fee structure. Hope that's all clear. About Google Drive, WhatsApp group. Hope that's I think as I mentioned, already WhatsApp group is formed. Already 4 or 5 students are part of that. They're all watching the previous batch recording. So I'll be assisting them for now. Right. Again, if anybody interested, feel free to ping me on my WhatsApp number and cell number for the payment process. I can guide you through further. Right, and then the prerequisites, very important. We have covered that. Right now, before I cover few of the concept here, the fundamentals, let's quickly talk about certificates. So very important. So let's put this one here. Let's go back here itself. So I mentioned there'll be a lot of courses in Oracle itself, Exadata, Golden Gate, OEM, your performance tuning, and specialization. Those are called a specialization. But any of those areas, your foundation is your DBA and RAC. Let's take Oracle EBS, Oracle OBI, Oracle PeopleSoft, Oracle Exadata, Oracle Supercluster. Any of the Oracle product, they all will run under either Oracle database or Oracle RAC. Your standalone versus RAC. Any of the Oracle product you take, all those products will run under this either standalone database or RAC database. As a DBA, learning this RAC course, a DBA course, and RAC course is the must thing. As I just mentioned, almost all the Oracle products, whatever Oracle product you can take it. It may be Oracle Cloud, Oracle Autonomous Database, or Oracle Exadata, Oracle Supercluster, Oracle EBS, Oracle OBI, Oracle Soha. Any Oracle product you take it, all of them will be running under standalone database or RAC database. So RAC database course is based upon your standalone database, and RAC course is for your RAC database. So as a DBA, learning these two courses are must. So once you learn this DBA course, it will be purely based upon standalone database. Once you learn this RAC course, it will be purely based upon RAC database. And then you have to complete this DBA certificate. That's called a DBA certificates for the standalone database is called 19C OCP certificate. We have this 1Z0082, 1Z0083, 19C admin 1 exam, 19C admin 2 exam. You have to complete these 2 exams. You will get this OCP certificate. And once you complete this RAC course, that will be purely based upon RAC database, and you have to complete that track certificate. 1Z0078 is the exam code. That's a 19C Oracle RAC exam. So these are must thing. The RAC course and DBA course are must thing for DBA. Once you complete this database course, that's a purely based upon the standalone database, and you have to complete this 19C OCP certificate. Right, and then once you complete this RAC course, you have to complete this RAC certificate. This is a basic core foundation for any DBAs. With the DBA course, you can work as a 1 to 4 years of experience. Once you cross that 1 to 4 years of experience, you are 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. You have to target for RAC course. If you have 8 years of experience, you don't know RAC, then you're not up to date in the market. You won't get any job opportunities in the market. Because with the 1 years or 4 years of experience, that guy can able to do your day-to-day activities. With 8 years of experience, you don't know the RAC, and you will not be getting any job opportunities. Why should I pay more salary for you to do a database administration? A guy with 1 year or 2 year experience can do all this database administration. So you have to upgrade yourself. You have to complete this database and RAC course based upon your experience, and you have to complete these certificates so that you'll be up to date in the market. So many people will say almost like, I never get an interview call. I applied in many interview, but I never get a call. I applied for 1,000+ job opportunities, but I never get a call. Why? The reason behind that is in the job outside for single DBA openings, there will be thousands or lakhs of resumes will be flooding in. Out of those thousands of resumes, CVs, HR has to pick your resume. On what basis they will pick? On what basis they will consider your resume is the strongest resume? One of the point is certificates. Let's say HR is going to take 10 resume. Out of the 10 resume, a 2 resume they mentioned these certificates, certificate logos, OCA, OCP. The moment they mention this certificates and certificate logos, those 2 resume will be immediately shortlisted, and remaining 8 resume will be rejected. So to get shortlist, your resume is going to play very, very important role. So I'll just quickly open my resume here for just to show here. So these are your certificate logos here: OCA, OCP, Exadata, RAC, Cloud, Autonomous Database. So you have to put those certificate logos so that anyone opens your resume, they look at this Oracle certificate logos, immediately they can shortlist your resume. So that's where the challenge is. Like, in the interview, like in the any market job position, for a single job opening, there will be thousands of resume. Out of that, it's all based upon the luck and based upon how strong your resume is. Out of those 1,000 resume, hardly 10 resume will be shortlisted or 2 resume will be shortlisted. Your resume should be among one that. Once your resume is shortlisted, whether you are able to crack the interview or not is based upon how much you put your effort, how much you studied on this particular course, how good you are at database skill sets. It is purely based upon you, the cracking the interview or not. But getting through that interview, getting that interview call, or getting your resume shortlisted is not on your hand. That will be luck. how can we overcome that? By doing these certificates. So certificates are very, very important. I can say any DBA, these database course and that rack course is a mandatory. They have to learn it. And this DBA certificate and rack certificate are must. On top of that, there will be hundreds of certificate in Oracle. OEM has a separate certificate. Performance tuning has a separate certificate. And Oracle Cloud is a separate certificate. Exadata is separate certificate. Supercluster is separate certificate. Your EBS is separate certificate. Those are like specialization courses. On top of these foundation, DB and rack, you have to choose your specialization, which field you want to move on, and which opportunities you are getting in. So you have to choose according to that. But these two, DB and rack, are must, and the certificates are must to be up to date in the market. Without them, and again, as I mentioned, I never get an interview call. I applied for thousands of positions, but my resume is not getting shortlisted. That's a common mistakes. Those are the common facts, right? So that's a foundation you need to understand and then start your career with that. All right. Hope that's clear about the certificate. Right. Now let's talk about some of the, I'll put as a point number 8 and now I'll go to this point number 9. That's the last one. Some of the concept I'll try to cover today and tomorrow. There'll be a lot of topics I wanted to cover, but let's say today I'll take one or two. Very first thing, I'll just correlate with this one, DBA course and rack course. There's a question here, what is the cost of each certificate? 20K. So again, these are like, you want to complete your exam one, approximately 20K is your Indian rupees. It's a one-time payment and one-time exam. If you fail in the exam, again you have to pay 20K and you have to re-attempt it. Right? Very first time, if you don't study and then try to attempt, definitely you're going to fail. So you have to practice, understand the concept, and then complete this. Again, one more questions. What's the validity? These are lifetime validity. So your OCA and OCP and rack, these are lifetime validity. It's a one-time clearance. Right? And all of them are Indian rupees. I'm talking about 20K Indian rupees. So again, without preparation, never ever try to attempt this certificate. It'll be like first time without preparation, without study, without hands-on, definitely you're going to fail. So this is not that easy. So you have to go through that. Again, I'm going to ping those links. You can just go to this. These are the exam codes. You can get this course curriculum. Right. With after completion of DBA course, you should be able to clear this DBA certificate, 19C admin 1. After the rack course, whatever we cover, that's a separate course what we cover. With that, you can able to crack this rack certificate.
Any one of that admin 1, admin 2 exam is fine. Both needs to complete.
Yes, both are mandatory.
Okay.
You cannot take admin 2 without admin 1.
Okay, interlinked.
Yeah, you have to complete admin 1 first, then it's going to allow you to go for admin 2.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry for that, guys. All right, so again, you have to clear admin 1, then only it's going to allow you to admin 2. Once you clear admin 2, then only it's going to allow you to this rack. You cannot directly take rack. You cannot directly take this admin 2. It has to be interlinked one by one. You have to go. All right. Quickly, few topics here. A DBA versus rack. So in this particular DBA course, based upon a standalone. And whatever this rack course, based upon your rack database. Arun, you were saying unable to unmute. Everyone can unmute. There's no restriction on that. All right. A standalone database, again, we have two types of database here. Standalone without ASM, standalone with ASM. There are two types of database what you can get it in case of standalone database. That's part of DBA course, what we'll be covering. And then in case of rack database, and then rack one node database. Two types of database. So in a simple nutshell, there will be two types of databases, standalone and rack database. And again, in standalone itself, you can divide into two type of databases, standalone with ASM and standalone without ASM. In case of rack, you can say rack database and rack one node database. So these two types of database will not be covering, we'll be covering only these two databases here. So let's say I'll just quickly get my lab here. So I have this lab 1 and I have this lab 2. So lab 1 and lab 2. So lab 1 is my lab 2 is my standalone with ASM. Right here I have a database called a DevDB in lab 1. And in lab 2, let's say I'll go to this lab 2, or else I put both of them into side by side here. Lab 1, lab 2. So I have both the labs here ready. So I have this test-db here. The moment you run this command, ps-ef grep smon, you can see devdb. And do you see any ASM here? No. The moment I run this command, ps-ef grep smon, I can see test-db. The moment I do test-db, I can see this ASM here. That itself indicates, okay, this test database running under this ASM. This dev database is not running under ASM. That's what I mentioned here, standalone without ASM, standalone with ASM. Standalone meaning only one single instance, one single server. Whatever you're seeing here is one single server here. Whatever you're seeing here, one single server, not the rack or cluster. So without ASM, meaning this DevDB is not having ASM, meaning DB running on OS file system. DB running on ASM file system. Right, that's a understanding. Here your test database running on ASM storage. So in a simple definition, ASM again, if you go back and see, ASM itself is a separate chapter here. Chapter number 9 here. ASM architecture, ASM administration, ASM overview, ASM disk group. We'll cover end to end what is that ASM. In a simple definition, ASM is automatic storage management. Provided by Oracle. ASM is a storage provided by Oracle. Your test-db is on ASM storage, your dev-db on OS storage. That's a simple definition what we'll be covering as part of this DBA course. So if your database, Oracle strongly recommends run your database on ASM. Run your database on ASM so that it has a lot of advantages. If you're running your database on OS file system, where you won't get advantages. Let's say one advantages I can think of here. Your lab one, let's say, is a OS file system. Your lab 2 here, which is under ASM file system, where you have this devdb, where you have here testdb. Let's say both are standalone, single instance here. Let's say it's a midnight and my server, this lab 1 crashed, here lab 2 crashed. Let's say in the midnight, like due to some OS issue or some network issue, your server rebooted. The moment server rebooted, what happens? Your database will go down. So I can say kill -9. My database went down. Let's say it's a midnight around 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. My server went down and server back online. Your database will never come online. Right? You see, you don't see the dev database. So as a DBA, I need to get up and then I need to start it manually. Let's say again this command and all I'll explain it in during our regular classes. SQL plus SHTBA, what is this connection? What happens? I'm going to do manually. I have to get up in the midnight when the server bounce happened. I need to manually connect SQL plus SHTBA. I need to manually start it. My database is now started. Instance started. What is instance? What is database? We'll cover in our regular classes. Database mounted and database opened. Now if I check that one, that command, psifnef grep smon, my database will be running. So what happened here? My database, my server went down. Because of that, my database went down. And then my server is back online. My database did not come online. I need to manually get up in the midnight and start it. That's one of the drawback. So where DBA has to monitor 24/7. What happened to my database with ASM? Let's say I'm going to do the same thing, kill. My database server went down, lab 2 went down. So my database also went down. If I do now, only ASM is there. My database went down, test DBs went down. So I'll just wait for few minutes. I no need to midnight get up and start the database. How I started my David database. I no need to start. See here, my test database is automatically back online. That is one of the brilliant feature why Oracle will always recommend to run your database on ASM. This is one of that. Auto restart capability. In case of your database is abnormally went down, shut down due to OS issue or network issue or any sort of issue, your ASM is smart enough to bring the database back online. Right? So that's a simple definition and simple understanding what we'll be covering in this particular course. We'll be covering this both the type of databases. So this database with ASM, we call it as a Oracle restart. We call this, some people will say, what is Oracle restart? Oracle restart is nothing but standalone with ASM, database running on ASM. Hope that's clear now. What's the difference between standalone, in the standalone with ASM and without ASM? And rack, again, rack is a separate course. I'll try to take 1 or 2 points on that. Rack is a clustering. Let's say I have lab 1, I have lab 2, I have lab 3, I have lab 4. I have 4 labs where you can install your ASM. Here we'll be just installing only ASM here. Only ASM, no 1, 2, 3 here. Because it's a standalone single server. Whereas here, what we'll do, ASM1 will be ASM2, ASM3, ASM4. It will be 4 ASM instance will be running. And when you create a dev database, it will be dev instance 1, dev instance 2, dev instance 3, and dev instance 4. There will be 4 database instances. So client can connect to instance 1, or client can connect to instance 3, or client can connect to instance 4. Like, it will be load balancing and high availability. So if I can quickly take this as example here, standalone versus rack. So client can connect from browser, mobile, or desktop. Connection will go to application server. From application server, connection will come to that single server here, Oracle Lab 1 or Lab 2. There will be one database, DevDB or TestDB, only one instance. If one server goes down, entire database will be down. In case of rack here, again connection will come from browser or mobile or desktop. All the connection will go to this rack. We have ASM1, ASM2, ASM3, DevDB instance 1, DevDB instance 2, DevDB instance 3. The client connection can go to instance 1, instance 2, instance 3 anywhere, and they're going to access to the same database called DevDB. Here, multiple servers, multiple database instances. In case of one single instance fail over here in the standalone, entire downtime. In case of here, one instance goes down, other two instances are there to survive your client connections. And whatever the clients are connected to instance 1, the moment instance 1 fails, all the client connection will go to either instance 2 or instance 2, the failover. The load is balanced. Here, the no load balancing. All the connection, 1000 connection will come into one single instance, and your server may crash. In case of rack, 1000 connections will be distributed into 300, 300, 300. The load will be balanced. And also, in case of one server crashes, one instance crashes, whatever the users are connected here, automatically they will fail over. The failover and the load balancing is possible in case of rack, but in case of standalone, no failover or no load
Malik,
balancing.
my name is Apurva Saha. Yeah, very nice to talk to you. But you said that in a rack environment, there is only one ASM. On one node only it's running. On which node? Is it the master node or
ASM1, ASM1 will be one server, ASM2 will be another server, ASM3 will be another server. Here you can see ASM1, ASM2, ASM3.
Hmm.
Without ASM, you cannot run your instance. Right? There's a new concept again called flex architecture. Even though if you don't run ASM, still you can run your database instances. That's called a flex ASM. So that's part of your rack. You'll understand more on that. But for simple general understanding, on a server, you want to run your database instance, ASM instance is must. That's why you can see ASM instance 1, database instance 1, ASM instance 2, database instance 2, ASM instance 3, database instance 3. All right. So the simple standalone versus rack load balancing.
it's rack one node?
No, rack one node is a different concept. Just consider only as the rack here now. Rack one node, if I try explaining, it will be confusing for many of them. So just a simple definition about standalone versus rack. Standalone, what we just covering in this course, the rack database and rack one node, that's a part of rack. So the difference is load balancing is available in rack, which is not there in the standalone. High availability. If one node is not there, you have 2 and 3. High availability is available in rack, which is not there in standalone. Failover. If one node, if the client is connected to node 1, server 1, if the server 1 goes down, automatically all those users will be fail over to other nodes. That's available in rack and which is not available in standalone. These are the core fundamental features: load balancing, high availability, failover for the rack, where you don't get it in standalone database. Right, so more will be covered in this concept in the rack, but not in the standalone. Standalone will be straightforward. We'll be covering this ASM and with ASM, without ASM, the standalone architecture and other stuff. All right. So now, irrespective of whether your database is standalone without ASM, standalone with ASM, whether it's a rack database, all of us to follow database architecture. Any of those database, standalone with ASM, standalone without ASM, rack database, all of them has to follow a single architecture called database architecture. So I'm not going to go in depth inside that, but I'll just give you a high level overview. Any database architecture, which is a combination of instance plus BG process. The database architecture is a combination of instance and the database background process. The instance is a combination of your SGA plus PGA. And your background process, which contains mandatory BG process plus non-mandatory BG process. So your database, overall database, if somebody asked you to explain about database architecture in few words, your database architecture is nothing but instance and the background process. Sorry, instead of that, let's go with here. No, I'll just go with the database architecture. Just think it instead of instance. Let's go with one level hierarchy above. Instance. Let's go with the memory plus BG process and plus database. Think in this format. High level overall hierarchy. Anyone anyone ask you what is database architecture? Just say database architecture is a combination of your instance plus your database. Database is nothing but your data files or end user data or storage. Instance and database combined together will make you database architecture. Instance, internally, if you go with this instance, is nothing but a memory and the background process. And inside memory, you have SGA and PGA. And in the background process, you have mandatory and non-mandatory background process. So entire database architecture is a combination of your instance and database. Instance is a memory and background process. Instance is a memory and background process. And in the memory, again, you have SGA and PGA. In the background process, you have mandatory background process, non-mandatory background process. This instance is called logical structure. And then this database is nothing but data files or end user data or storage data. This is your physical structure. This is your physical structure and this is your logical structure. The inside SGA, inside PGA, there are so many sub-memory components. Let's say in inside SGA, I can say shared pool, large pool, Java pool, database buffer cache, large buffer cache, stream pool. And inside again, shared pool, your data dictionary cache and library cache. And inside PGA, you have stack space, bit tree area, bitmap area, and temp area, sort area, so many things. And in the background process, mandatory background process and non-mandatory background process. The mandatory background process are your smon, pmon, dbrater, lograter, checkpointer. Again, these are all your entry questions. What is dbrater? What is lograter? What is checkpointer? What is smon? What is pmon? What is the job of the smon? What is the job of the pmon? What's the job of the dbrater? What is the job of the lograter? And this SGA component, what is shared pool? Why we need? What is database buffer cache? Why we need? All those are individual questions also you can get it. Right? And then database is your actual physical structure, data files. So in these data files, you have system data file, sysdoc data file, undo data file, temp data file, user data file. All these data files are logically attached into a table space, system table space, sysocs table space, undo table space, temp table space, user table space. Those are like logical structure of database. So you should be able to explain all this concept around your instance, a memory, background process, and the database. That's the data files. And those are logical correlation with the table spaces. Once you're able to explain this much, that's more than enough. If they don't ask the architecture question, they will ask individual question. What's a SMON, PMON, debritter, logretter, checkpointer, your memory structure, all of those individually they will ask one by one questions. And then you should be able to explain all of them. That's your foundation, right? Once you are able to explain and then practice these questions, these are the must asked question in any of the interview. All right. So with that, I'm gonna pause here for a minute. So I'll just take it tomorrow. I'll continue tomorrow with the networking, Linux, rack concept, and again I covered this standalone versus rack type of database. So these things, networking, Linux, and rack concept, we'll take it tomorrow. So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. I'll take few more minutes if anyone has any questions around that.
Yes, sir. I have a question. Would you like to elaborate a little bit on the rack one node
Again,
architecture,
rack
please?
one
Just
node, rack database versus rack one node is the two types of databases. So I just give an example here. Lab 1, Lab 2, Lab 3, Lab 4. You have 4 labs. You have installed your ASM1, ASM2, ASM3, ASM4. 4 ASM, and you have Dev database instance 1, Dev database instance 2, Dev database instance 3, Dev database instance 4. It will be 4 instances will be running. That's your rack database. And then rack one node will be, that's the same database, Dev database underscore 1. It will be comes with underscore 1. And Dev database underscore 2, Dev database underscore 3, Dev database underscore 4. So you'll be having this underscore 1, 2, 3, and the name itself suggests it's a rack database, but one node database, meaning it'll be running only one node. Let's say dev db underscore 1 will be running, and then remaining all will be shut down. It's kind of your standalone database. Only one server it will be running. Here dev db underscore 1, only one instance will be running. Any user connected, all will be connected to only this instance. In case of this server goes down, automatically your dev underscore 2, dev underscore 3, or dev underscore 4, any one of the instance will get started automatically. And all the user will go to that instance. Right? Why we need this drag database versus rack one node database? There are a lot of advantages and disadvantages, licensing and other cost and other things will come into picture. But hope that's clear. The rack versus rack
so
one
that's
node.
a low cost. Cost is low for one
Right.
node. Rack
Right.
one node cost is less.
That's correct.
Licensing fee is less.
Right. That's one of the feature. That's one of the advantages. There will be so many other advantages and so many differences between those two. But hope you got a clear understanding of what is rack versus rack one node.
Oh, so also the background process you are saying. So there are many processes like LREG or
All are
PMAN
part of your
process.
mandatory and non-mandatory. The whatever I just explained is the mandatory. SMON, PMON, debritter, logretter, checkpointer. Those 5 are the mandatory background process. Remaining all will be non-mandatory. Your archiver, recoverer, LREG, MON, MNLL, job queue. There will be a lot of background process which are non-mandatory. Right? Whatever it is, whether it's a standalone or rack one node, or standalone with ASM, standalone without ASM, all has to follow this fundamental architecture. Right, so any more questions, guys, before we wrap it up? So we'll take a pause for today. We'll continue tomorrow around the
What about,
networking, basic Linux and rack.
yeah, hi Malik, what about
So
OC?
one last question I had. So if we just want to run through this on a continuous basis, then we can go to your website and look for your YouTube site and look for this course, database course, and it's already there or what?
No, it's not there.
Oh, only rack is there, but not this one. I see.
Again, this all,
Yeah.
the YouTube, there will be a lot of materials which is not structurally organized and you cannot make it out. You have to need some proper structure and the flow where you can learn step by step process. The course is different and the YouTube is different. And again, not only mine, there will be a lot of other YouTube channels, a lot of content over the Google and your cloud and in YouTube. So you need to have a proper structure format and you have to learn a step by step, and there will be a dedicated instructor, or to clarify if you have doubt, questions, queries, there should be a mentor. The course is different and the free learning is different. Again, it's subjected to how you learn and what's your way of learning.
Okay, may I ask one last question? So, you suggest that we implement the virtual machines, but which one will you recommend, VMware or Oracle VirtualBox?
Oracle VirtualBox.
Oh, I see. Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
And Malik, what is this OCA and will this DBA
OCA,
course
no,
will
I
be
already
to-
covered it very beginning, right? Somebody asked that question. That's a cloud. We will not be covering any cloud related things. So OCI is Oracle Cloud. So four major Oracle Cloud provider in the market are AWS, Azure, GCP, and OCI. OCI is from Oracle. So we are not covering anything cloud related stuff here. It's all on premises.
Which is better, AWS or OCI?
AWS.
I see. But can it do everything? Rack also on AWS?
No.
No.
Rack, you
and
cannot do it
whatever
any of this.
whatever DBA operations, all this you are going to tell, those will be present in the OCA, right? Will be maintained in the OCA. That's the difference, right? Rest underlying, it's the same DBA concepts, right?
Right. So you run your Oracle database in AWS, Azure, GCP, or OCI, your whatever the fundamental you're doing it. Only this part you will not be doing it here. The setup, installation part will be automated. You just go single click, your database is ready. Remaining all your architecture, administration, table spaces, ASM, and multi-tenant, networking, accounts, backup, recovery, and cloning, patching, upgradation. It's all same process. Only that UI based automation, like instead of spending 1 week of time to install, just a single button on the OCI.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So with that, let's take a break, guys. Again, feel free to reach out to me. Any further registration or payment process on my WhatsApp number or cell number, or even you can reach out to me on my email ID. I'll be available. Let's continue on tomorrow with some Linux and networking basics and some other stuff. We'll continue with the further discussion. All right, guys, let's take a break. Thank you, everyone.
Very much. Thank you. Thank you. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Apurva Saha.
Sure, Apurva. We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mallika.